We have got an Age of Fantasy Regiments battle report. My dwarf versus some Vampiric Undead. We're running 4,000 points here. And again, this is going to be a new battle report format where I'm going to be doing it a little quicker. So I'm not going to cover everything. It's a pretty massive battle. So let's just get started. So just keep that in mind. It's 4,000 points standard scenario with 3 objectives. Sorry, this is going to be 5 objectives. Excuse me. We're doing my custom Age of Fantasy Regiments tweaks. I'll post the rules there. And again, this is just sort of an abbreviated battle. I'm just going to be covering some of the main points to see if this also works for you. Sometimes a play-by-play. I found people just sort of would like to get the highlights. So we're going to try this different format here. All right, let's just get into the army lists here. So it's 4,000 points again. We're playing the Massive Battles tweaks where you can combine it to 4 copies of a unit. So I've got a Dwarven champion. He's on a Great Bear. He's going to be running with my War Bears. I like to just put my, I like to put these up front so you can just see them. I then have another Dwarf champion. He's got Grudge. He's going to be running with my big 40-man unit of just warriors here. But yeah, so we got great weapons on both of them. And then the dwarf champion here is a level 2 rune lord, which I'll get into. I've then got, so we've got 2 20-mans, which I'm combining to a big 40-man unit with rending. And again, all the dwarf have both a sergeant and a banner. I've got a combined unit of 20 bearded veterans. I'm sorry, I've got 2 10-man units of bearded veterans with great weapons. Then I've got some iron warriors rocking here. So this is a 20-man unit where I'm doing just their rune weapons, and I've given one of them just again sergeant and banner. So I've got for hammer elites, I've got a 20-man unit, 2 units combined for a 20-man unit, and then I've got another 10-man unit as well that are just on their own. I've got some steam power suits, a combined unit with just their heavy shields. I've got a 10-man unit of marksmen and a 10-man unit of Drake marksmen that I've given the troll hammer torpedoes to. Finally, I've got the Warbear Riders. That's a combined unit. I've got an attack helicopter with a flamethrower, and I've got a giant construct as well. So the dwarf spells, the only one I really cast in this spell, I'm not going to cover every spell, but spells are significant in the battle, giving buffs. But the only one I really cast consistency is that -1 for melee. I think that's a pretty good level 1, and it's worth bringing level 2. So this is just my dwarf army here, the combined unit of warbears, and now I've got the combined unit of steam power suits. I've then got the 2 10-man units of the bearded veterans, 10-man unit of iron drakes. I've got my rifles, the attack copter. I've got the big 40-man unit of warriors. Then I've got my general in there, so that's going to give them a really good save, help out with that quality 4. I've got a 20-man unit of hammers, another 10-man unit of hammers, and a big 20-man block of iron warriors. So it's just going in there and looking at that. So again, just sort of some close-up pictures as well. I'm going to be reworking some of these to get the bases nice and tidy. And yeah, that's just my big. So I'm trying my big guy here. All right, so let's go into the Vampire Undead. So we've got he's got a Vampire Master that he's on a winged steed, and he's got a lot of caster in the army. He's got caster 3. He's got a Drained Leader that he's got a caster 3 as well. 2 Stitched Zombies, so he's running a lot of chaff. These are 2 20-mans that he's running. He's got the Rising Undead, which again, in my rules, we're playing all ambush as just a scout. So he'll be scouting those up with a musician. And again, he's spawning some Stitched Zombies, so he's got these that are just going to appear. He's then got another Drained Leader that he's given the Stitched Zombie to spawn 10 Stitched Zombies. He's got counter as well, so yeah, and just a Corpse Master. He's got some Drained Soldiers, so again, some more chaff. A Skeleton Champion that he's put in with his Skeleton Guard, so this is going to be a combined 20-man unit here. That he's given a Cursed Greatsword and the March Order, so he's going to be able to move 6 inches. He's got a pretty maneuverable army here, so the March Order lets him pick a unit and move it within 6. Some Drained Archers. He's got a 10-man unit and a 5-man unit. He's then got some Zombie Wolves. Again, just really more chaff as well. Just Scout, Furious, and Undead. He's got some Skeleton Knights. He's got a 10-man unit that have got full command as well with their lances. Finally, finishing off with a 5-man unit of Vampire Knights, some Ghoul Horrors and combined unit with poison on them. He's got a Bat Beast that'll be running around. He's got 2 Zombie Dragons with flying. They'll be moving around with their breath attack. A Maiden Chariot with the Seduce and just the Impact. And a Corpse Wagon that he's going to be handing out. So this can also spawn 10 zombies. But he's also got Corpse Bile on the unit, so he'll be handing out regen as well. So these are his spells. He mainly is casting the movement spell, and he's casting, I think, the regen spell as well. So he's using several of his spells, including just that +1 to hit that sort of counters my -1 to hit. Just looking at his army, yeah, really nicely painted. He's got his vampire counts. He's got his 2 wolves, his 2 zombie dragons in the back. There's his skeleton guard. He's got his maiden chariot and his corpse wagon right there. And then he's got his corpse guard. This is his vampire on the winged steed. And he's got a lot of zombies. Here's his ghouls, and then he's got his 2 20-man zombies as well. Really nice army. Just sort of getting in there. You can see very nicely painted as well. That's his skeleton guard and his cav right there. Just sort of going in. Yeah, he's really did a great job on that. This is his maiden chariot, and this is his corpse wagon as well. Yeah, and just those ghouls as well came up pretty nice. Yeah, I got to give a lot of respect for this guy. He actually spends time and paints up his zombies. So we're not going to go into everything. Let's just sort of look at the setup here. You can just sort of see here at 4,000 points we've got. It's the battle, and I really love massive battles. Just the battle is just full of troops. You can just see here going on here towards my left flank. I've got my Guardian Construct just protecting my flanks. I've got my so these are my Iron Warriors, my big 40-man block of warriors with my leader. Towards the center, I have my shooting with my Iron Drakes and my rifles. And then towards the center, I've also got my combined unit of war machines right there. So towards the right, so I've got a unit of bearded veterans, and they're protecting some Iron Warriors. I've then got my big unit of war bears with some more bearded veterans, and then I've got a 20-man unit of hammers on my attack helicopter. So just sort of looking at him, again, he's got a lot of scouts, so he did both ambush and scout these zombies up and these wolves. So he's already getting the position. You can see we've got 5 objectives over here, one right here, one right in the center. One's closest to us. He's got one closest to him. And then towards here, this is the other flank here where he scouted up his Bat Beast and scouted up his wolves as well. Just sort of looking at that, you can see again, he's scouted up a lot of his units, the wolves, the zombies, the other wolves, and the Bat Beast. We're playing LOS for charging, so this kill is definitely going to be used to sort of block line of sight where we need to. And you can just see here, he's got a lot of chaff as his army, or a lot of units that are expendable with some pretty tough ones. In the center here, this is his shooting units with his guards with shooting their arrows. And yeah, and that's with his maiden chariot and his corpse wagon that he'll be handing out his regen to. And again, that's just him looking over here with my war bears that are going to be protecting those hammerers. All right, let's just sort of figure out here. You can see here, here's the center. Here's one of my objectives. He's got his objective in the woods. And then we've got our 3 objectives in the center. So sort of 1 on each of our sides, and then 3 sort of laid out in the middle of the battlefield. And yeah, that's just showing him he's got his knights and his dragon sort of protected by these chaff units in front. And yeah, that's just sort of the battle lines. I'm sort of keeping my line pretty straight so I can avoid flanks. And yeah, that's just the picture as well. Really fun to play a battle this big. And turn 1. So this is just mainly moving and a little bit of shooting here. So the big thing is that I just push up towards my units. I do get my leader to cast a -1 spell on one of his dragons. These guys hits on 4 up, so I'm going to try to giving him a -1 in melee is going to have him hit on a 5 up here. So it's mainly just moving up as well. His caster actually just sort of moves in the back and saving his tokens. That's just his caster back there. It's a lot of just moving up towards the center. We all sort of move up towards this mountain here. And then again, just both of us sort of pushing up towards the center here. You can see he did take some shots into my bearded veterans, did 3 wounds into them. And this is just a lot of just sort of moving forward. Not a lot to go over on the first turn. Just a lot of us moving forward. We're sort of getting ready for this objective here. There's a little bit of shooting, a little bit of spell casting on my part. But for the most part, as you can see, the armies just mainly move forward as well. He didn't move forward as much. I mainly pushed forward, so he did keep some of his units back here. But yeah, that's just, again, you can just sort of see we had a little bit of shooting going on both sides, but both of us mainly just moved forward. I have some 18-inch shooting, so some of my shooting wasn't in range here, and you can just see some of those casting. He didn't spend any of his caster tokens, so he has sort of saved up his caster tokens for next round. And again, that he's just moved up his maiden chariot here. Going to try to do some shenanigans with that seduce, but I think generally seduce isn't going to do as well for me. So again, and we're both using this hill to block line of sight to our advantage, and that's one reason I like sort of the rules that we've tweaked where you need line of sight to charge here. Yeah, that's just, again, showing some of the battlefield. I like to just take some pictures just to sort of show us just moving forward on round 1. All right, round 2 is where we get a little fun, and the fun starts. So dwarves get to go first here, and yeah, it's just moving forward. One thing I do is I do pull up I'm trying to clear out some of this chaff, so my attack copter does move up. I do clear out this 5-man unit of wolves. Just continuing on the turn, I go ahead and just move up on top of this hill, just to use a good defensive flank. I think I cast -1 to hit on something else. The Iron Drakes move up and they shoot off that Banshee chariot. That's that maiden chariot. So I am sort of, so you can see that was that maiden chariot. My Iron Drake just go ahead and just shoot it off. It's only tough 6. He does also start spawning his zombies. So here's one of his guys. He spawns a 10-man unit of zombies to sort of have further chaff. And again, his zombie dragon just goes ahead and goes into my Longbeard. Does 6 damage even with the -1 to hit. So a little real good rolls on his part. Yeah, he moves up his cavalry as well to try to hit some of my infantry as well. His other zombie dragon charged my guardian statue. We basically did a wound apiece, and also he rushed up his cav to get the flank onto my guardian. So that speed is really coming into play. But yeah, it's still just a lot of moving here. There was a little bit of combat that went on with the zombie dragons, but mostly it's just moving up. All didn't go well for the dwarves. So here I took 5 wounds to my bearded veterans, and despite being quality 3 and fearless, they failed their morale. So actually, this middle flank gets slowed because now my hammerers can't move up because these guys get wavered here. But yeah, I do push up a little more. I get my shooting. I do cause some damage into his zombies, but these zombies are pretty cheap. So it's a little tough. I know he casts some spells, some +1 to hit, and I think some movement spells. But yeah, you can just see here on my right flank, the battle is happening a lot faster here. That's just a picture here. I think I did like 3 wounds into his zombie dragon as well. And yeah, you can just see here, just the armies are continuing to push up. The middle is sort of staying a little more cagey, because I know we've got these two units are pretty powerful. So, but yeah, I am trying to push up a little further. He actually backed off, and he's trying to focus on my flanks. And yeah, that's just a picture here. You can see the left and the right flanks are mainly the ones engaging right now with the center. He actually backs off a little bit in the center here. So we'll sort of see what happens on that. And yeah, that's just a picture from there. And where we're probably going, turn 3 is going to be where it's really going to start happening. We have a lot of units that are getting very close to hand. You can just see over here him spawning his zombies to block off my bears. And yeah, but overall still not too much going on, and it goes to turn 3. We're going to 5 turns as well, and the dwarves do get to go first again. Yeah, the first thing I do is actually just sidestep my guardian here. I don't want him flanking with these cav here, so I just sidestep as well. But he actually is able, with flying, he's able to fly over my guardian and hit the flank into my guys here. Yeah, he does like 8 or 9, like does 8. I think it's 8 or 9 wounds into them. So that flank charge. Remember, in my rules, we double the attacks on the flanks. That zombie dragon, even if he hits on 4s, is doubling his attacks. I go ahead and trade. I charge over here, and this is a 40-man they attack, and they just blow up those zombies here. He again spawned more zombies right in front of my shooting units. That's his corpse cart, and he's that corpse cart is handing out regen. I charge into his zombies with my guys here, but I roll terrible, and he rolls like 4 6s. So actually, we stall in combat, which is rough because he then gets a flank on my guys, does a few more wounds to them, but actually brings them at 11 wounds, just 50%. I roll a 1, and because they have a 2 up with their standard, but I roll a 1 and they are gone. So that's rough to lose a 20-man unit of Iron Warriors. His zombies just charge into he wants to sort of block up my shooting with his zombies. Just charges, does some damage here, but again, his shooting, he continues to shoot my Longbeards and actually wavers them again. So these Longbeards with their quality 3 and fearless waver again. The dwarf leadership has not been doing well. I'll just say that. Yeah, my guys move up. I shoot off these dogs. He has a lot of chaff in this army. And actually, he has more zombies back here. So I do have to clear out some of this chaff here. Again, his corpse guard just moves up and blocks my Iron Drakes. And then again, I take a flank. He actually is able to get a flank charge onto my bears. Again, does some more damage and pushes them back. Because again, in my rules, if you win combat, you push the unit back. So he's pushing them back a little bit. He charges into my Guardian, but it's basically a wound apiece, so it's just bounced. So this guy is deaf too, with shield wall. So again, I think we just sort of have a stalled combat. He does a few wounds, but I do some wounds back into him. And that's just a recap for turn 3. He's actually getting some, these zombie dragons are doing a lot of work just getting their flank charges as well. He got a flank charge here and a flank charge into my Iron Warriors, and then those Iron Warriors are gone because of that 2-up. So that this flank is looking pretty bad, whereas this one we're still sort of holding in. But yeah, you can just sort of see here his flank charges. Well, those zombie dragons are just doing work, and he's got the chaff to block me. And you can see he went ahead and just finished off those bearded veterans, even though they wavered 2 times in a row. Towards the center, I still have this big 20-man block here. He did do some wounds into my shooting. So, and you can see I am moving forward here to contest the center objective. But you can just see the slow speed of the dwarves is coming into play where I just, I can't quite support my flanks. I've got these units in the middle here, but my flanks are getting, I really could have used those on the flanks. Yeah, that's just showing another picture as well. And yeah, turn 3 didn't go well for the dwarves, mainly because of leadership tests. But also, those zombie dragons, again, they're doing work. You can see here I am moving up towards the center to gain this center objective here. Turn 4, so we are playing a 5-turn game, and the dwarves do get to go first again. And yeah, I just go ahead and the Iron Drakes, they shoot off these ghoul horrors. Do a lot of damage here, so I've really weakened that unit. He just takes another flank into my guys. Again, does some more damage to them, pushes them back. And again, all these guys can do, they just basically go into these zombies. I'm just killing chaff now. He sends a flank into my big 40-man squad, does like 12 damage into them. But still, they're holding on okay. But again, 2 more flank charges is rough. My Guardian charges and finishes off the guys. He turns, but then he just moves up. He has more zombies. He just moves up those zombies. So this Guardian, he's not going to be able to deal with these just because there's too many bodies. So again, I actually get a flank into his dragon, and again, I'm doubling attacks with these guys, so I just blow up his dragon. He charges his corpse cart into my Iron Drakes. The big thing is he actually wavers them as well, which is horrible that he wavers these Iron Drakes. That was rough. That's just showing here the Iron Drakes. I do go ahead and flank him with this corpse cart, but the damage has been done. He's killed he's wavered these Iron Drakes, so they won't get the chance to shoot again. He charges with his vampire and pushes them back. This is with his wolf, so he charges them fatigue and pushes them back. So, and then he gets a flank charge into the wolf gets a flank charge into them as well. Just does one. I think these guys are down. There's 16 wounds. So it's like, we only do basis, but it's basically the general and like one other guy. So, these wolves have just taken a lot of flank charges this game. I go ahead and just charge his skeletal guard. This is like his corpse guard. I do a lot of damage and I just push him back. But still, these guys are there. And then again, the Cav charges the bearded veterans and finish them off as well. Now they're facing the flank of my hammerers. Yeah, I mean, again, that's just another sort of rough turn. I'm getting these warbears, even though they're still a full. I mean, we remove full squads at once, but basically this is down to just the general and one guy left here. I did manage to clear out some of his stuff, but I just have these hammerers here. And yeah, that's just another picture as well. So he's got the flank there. You can see I do manage to grab the center here. But again, having these wavered Iron Drakes means that these guys are going to be out of the game as far as I would love one more round of shooting. Yeah, and his dragon has actually just moved up. And he's only taken 3. These dragons are pretty tough to kill. The 12 wounds at depth 3. So actually, he's threatening the flank of these Iron Drakes, which really suck. That's just another picture as well here. Again, he's... I have this objective now. The problem is he's just got more zombies here. More stuff that I can sort of clear out. That's just a picture from the center here. And at least I do have the center here. So yeah, that's just me showing that I did grab the center with my my guys. So turn 5, again, we play at this sort of regiments. We do play 5 turns. The big thing that happened is all I can really do is I hope these Iron Drakes survive. I unwaver them. I was hoping to be able to turn and shoot that dragon, but because so at this point he just charges the flank. He kills off the last guy, but then my general with a 3-up quality and fearless fails his morale again. And these guys run. So that's just rough just to lose my general. So yeah, I go ahead and just charge and I finish off the Graveguard, but he still has his zombies here. So I just turn and face, and as you can see, my Guardian is just not going to be able to finish off these zombies. So they're still contesting this objective. And yeah, the game sort of ended early because what basically happened is he charged the flank of my Iron Drakes that unwavered. He killed them. And then he holds this objective. And basically, I can't get within 3 to contest that objective. So, I do have the center objective. But, yeah, that's pretty much just it. We basically called the game there because he was able to move up. So, he has this objective. He has mine. He has his objective. He didn't even charge. He just moved up his vampire just to contest this objective here. And then I just have the center. So, I have 1. But he has, so this is contested. So what he has my objective, and the 2 side ones are contested. And then over here, you're seeing it, here is this other one. He has his objective. So yeah, it turns into a 2-1 victory for the Vampiric Undead. Really good game. I think I could have played it better. I probably committed too much to the center. Like, I just have these big units that really didn't do anything all game. Yeah, just it's a 2-1. It was a really good game. It was a 2-1 victory for the Vampire Undead. One thing I would say is that we've played 4,000 in the past, but I think one thing I will say, playing bigger bases from Old World did make the game feel crowded. I think that if I'm going to play Old World bases, I'd do like 3,500. Just because, like, when we played smaller bases, 4,000 was fine, but it was a little crowded. And I really would say that's something that about Old World I don't care. After playing with Old World a little while and just those bases, I don't like the bigger base sizes. I think it crowds up the game too much. Let's just look at some learning points. I think the actual vampires felt pretty weak. Like, Vampiric Undead, it's really like zombies and the big monsters, which are really powerful. But like the Vampire Cav didn't feel great. The flying units were terrific. Those flying. I probably should have brought some faster units, maybe some flyers on my own. My army was a little slow, but still, I did have some bad morale checks. But still, I think I could have played well. He really played very well. He used his chaff very well just to force my units to just go and clear out all these 10 and 20 man zombie units. And yeah, and that spawning undead is just really great in this format to be able to just drop a 10 man unit. I thought overall it was a really great game. And just hopefully let me know how you liked the abbreviated battle report. Love to get feedback, like, subscribe, and comment. Hey, send me your army list and your custom armies. Thanks a lot, everyone.